Right, up next we cover this week's Korea-related issues that made international headlines. And for that, I have Kim Sung-yeon here in the studio with me. Sung-yeon, welcome back.
Good to be back, Sunny. So throughout the week in international media, there was coverage on a new, perhaps bizarre, peculiar way in which Koreans are choosing to relax during their spare time. Also, more on the amazing Squid Game. There's been a rising popularity in Korean Webtoons as well. And last but not least, we have news on boy band BTS. So let's dive right in. A new phenomenon known as quote-unquote hitting Hmong has become more popular and widespread here in Korea. The Washington Post talks about how a lot of stressed out Koreans today are choosing to go to places just to relax and do nothing. The Korean slang term for this is directly translated as hitting Hmong, which means zoning out and staring blankly into an empty space. The Post talks about the so-called Hmong cafes that are popping up across the nation, where visitors pay to simply enjoy the peace and quiet of a relaxing indoor space. At these Hmong cafes, you're not allowed to talk, your phone must be on silent, and you have to take your shoes off as well. Researchers say this emerging trend reflects the growing perception among Koreans of feeling trapped and lonely, especially in our second year of the pandemic. In fact, one expert expects this new way of escape and relaxation to become more mainstream, pointing out that there is demand for this type of space where people can be alone and at peace somewhere else outside their own homes.
Right, especially if your own homes have many kids, right?
That's, yes.
Which is your case, of course.
I will not go into that.
Right. Moving on then to Squid Game. Sung-yeon, do tell us about it ushering in a new era in the television industry.
Right, Sunny. So I came across an interesting article on the BBC, actually. It said that Squid Game's success as Netflix's most watched show of all time could have a significant impact on what shows people may watch next year and beyond. So the BBC goes into detail about how Squid Game has achieved mainstream visibility on a global scale in a manner that no other non-English language film or TV show has ever done. It says the popularity of Squid Game may be the beginning of a new era when it comes to the prospects of non-English language media content. It goes on to say that before the invention of streaming services like Netflix, most TV networks preferred not to take a chance with non-English language shows. The BBC believes that the television landscape has changed now that Squid Game has familiarized viewers in the English-speaking world to subtitled content. And the BBC says Squid Game has shown that non-English content can still succeed, and its popularity could be the tipping point that leads to a cultural revolution in the world of television.
Right, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. And speak of Korean content, Sung-yeon, I hear there is greater global interest in Korean webtoons. Tell us more.
Yes, so I'm sure you know, probably know that the Netflix series Hellbound is actually based on a Korean webtoon, Sunny. So webtoons, the first of which actually appeared in Korea around 20 years ago, have been shaking up the entire content industry as of late. So Reuters says that with very little overhead costs, webtoons have become a lucrative business with an increasing number of adaptations on streaming giants like Netflix and Disney+. Webtoons have also attracted more international readers in recent years. Reuters points out that webtoons and their PC and smartphone-specific innovations are intuitive for those aged 24 or younger, who account for a whopping 75% of the 14 million monthly Naver webtoon readers in the U.S. as of September. In the meantime, in Google Play's free comic app category, Naver's Webtoon app and Kakao's Tapas app are number 2 and 3 in U.S. downloads. So overall, Naver's global Webtoon business has seen quarterly sales jump nearly 80% from a year ago as of the July to September period. Monthly active users grew from 50 million to 72 million in 3 years, with users outside of Korea far surpassing those here in the country, especially as the market has been expanding due to live adaptations on such global streaming services.
Right, Sung-yeon. And finally, there was quite a bit of coverage about BTS planning to take a well-deserved break, I hear. Tell us more.
Right, so it does look like BTS is ready to do something that they haven't been doing in years. And as you mentioned, it is a well-deserved break. The K-pop band is planning to go on vacation starting later this month until at least March, which would be the first time they have have taken extended time off since 2019. The Wall Street Journal said that BTS's first vacation since 2019, which will allow its 7 members to spend the holidays with their families, is unusual in K-pop, as many idol stars are concerned about losing their fans if they went on a long break. However, the journal pointed out that it's a special case for BTS because the group is already so well known and successful that such attrition isn't likely. BTS members have also created personal social media accounts following the vacation announcement, already attracting millions of followers in just days. Big Hit Music, which manages the band, said this period of rest for BTS will help give the members a chance to recharge and find new inspiration for their future work.
Right, future work. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. All right, Songyeon, as always, thank you very much for the coverage.
It's my pleasure.